So here's something that we haven't really discussed in length, and it's not really something that's being talked about very often, and that is that rental rates are starting to come down. What we're finding right now in the market is landlords are not going to market with the upper tier of what they're looking for in terms of a rent. Of course, they always want more. But at the same time, landlords are also quite responsive to the market in the sense that there's a lot of competition out there. So they're not pushing for that top dollar. They're saying, hey, you know what, if we can get a tenant that has good credit, that has stable employment, then yes, we're not necessarily looking for that top dollar. We would rather someone come in, be consistent with the rent payments, and at the same time, look after the house, which in many cases, for many landlords, is the most important thing. So a couple of reasons why we're finding that the rental rates are coming down. Number one, there's over 600 units or 600 rental properties right now that are on the market in Waterloo region for lease. Over 600. That's not including like the Kijiji and the Facebook Marketplace and all these other websites. That's just on the MLS. So, I mean, you could be talking close to 1,000. So there's lots of options out there. I do foresee the rental rates continuing to either stay stable or come down. I don't see them going up, and I'll tell you why. Because with the interest rates coming down, landlords don't have to hit a certain number to be able to be cash flow positive, or at the very least, be able to pay their mortgage, their taxes, without going into their pocket. With the rates coming down, it does make things a little bit easier for everybody. The other reason is because there is more and more inventory coming to the market every month when it comes to these kind of rental units. And that's simply because a big percentage of these rental units are new builds, like the new condos and new towers that we see downtown, all those various projects. And now what's happening is those projects are closing and new owners are taking over, and they're immediately renting out the units right away. So you're getting more and more inventory like that coming up regularly. And so that's giving lots of options now for tenants. The other thing is it comes down to immigration too. A big percentage of the people who are renting in our region right now are from a different country. They've come here either on a student visa, a work visa. They've come here on some sort of temporary status and they need somewhere to live. Now with immigration getting cut significantly this year and moving forward over the next few years, that just means less people are going to be coming here because they have the inability to continue to stay here afterwards. And so therefore they're not going to be coming to Canada in the first place, and therefore there's no need for any sort of shelter at that point. So now you've got less people coming in, so you've got more vacancies on investment properties. Therefore landlords are going to have to be a lot more competitive. Now the one thing that landlords are really not getting away from is qualifying the tenant. When it comes down to what it really comes down to, a landlord is good credit, stable employment, and does that person have perhaps money to cover 2 or 3 months worth of rent in the event that something happens? Or perhaps if they're moving here from a different country and they don't have credit built in this country, do they have a lump sum that they can put down to put the landlord's mind at ease that at least the rent is covered for the first 6 months or 12 months or whatever that number is? So credit and income and consistency with the employment are still very, very important to landlords here. And I know in many cases landlords would prefer to lower their rate a little bit if they've got the right tenant in there who's going to be consistent with the rent payments, but at the same time also, perhaps more importantly, look after the property, which I think is every landlord's dream. Anyway, that's just me raw. No chat GPT wrote it. I'm just speaking from the heart from what I'm seeing. I hope that helps. See you guys.